You're always bitching about the shopping bill.
It's a new national pastime. Finish scanning at the supermarket and then stand there thinking,
You cannot be serious!
the cost of the weekly shop is now a political football.
It was touched, you can see it there.
Customers are sick of getting touched up at the checkout.
Don't touch me. Nobody touches me.
And, realising customers are also voters, the Albanese Government has vowed a mandatory code of conduct for the supermarkets, which we're hoping includes a mandatory minimum amount of lubricant when Coles and Woolies continues to jam it up our...
Ooh.
So you don't think it'll work?
I'm sceptical because the crackdown is being spearheaded by ex-Labor Minister Craig Emerson. That's not a deep fake.
Oh, why I'll wipe out there on my TV.
That's actually him dancing at Parliament House in a manner that makes other middle-aged white men in suits look like Ryan Gosling.
Shocking me right out of my brain.
You sure are, Craig. Emerson reckons that under a mandatory code of conduct, the supermarket giants will have nowhere to hide from the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission.
'Cause I'd find you.
The ACCC would be given powers to deal out fines of at least $10 million and for major breaches up to 10% of turnover.
Supermarkets are supportive.
What does it say about a policy when the business people the policy is meant to intimidate wholeheartedly support that policy?
I think this is a great idea.
It says that Coles and Woolies know it will have f***ing effect on the way they do business. Does anyone seriously think the ACCC will fine Woolworths 10% of annual turnover? Seriously, that would be like a $6.4 billion fine. It's never going to happen.
Yeah, no, I think I'm done, guys.
And who's going to lodge a complaint under this new code of conduct in the first place?
What do you got, a death wish or something?
Go to a tribunal and face off against Coles, Woolies, Aldi, Metcash?
Let's do it.
Your funeral.
It's not going to be the family orchardist in Goulburn Valley or the beef producer in outback Queensland. They don't have the money to lawyer up like that, and even if they did, would they want to pick a fight with the businesses they hope to continue to do business with?
That's good different.
And dropped off the preferred supplier list. Albo says he wants a fair go for families and a fair go for farmers. Think about that language. Fair go for families means lower prices at the checkout. Fair go for farmers means higher prices at the farm gate.
La la la, la la la.
If you're buying higher and selling lower, what happens to your profit?
Yeah, well, they can afford to take a haircut.
Well, yeah, but the supermarket game isn't actually that profitable. Woolies made about $1 billion in the first 6 months of this financial year. Its profit margin, though, was just 6%.
Is that bad?
You can get that kind of return in a term deposit nowadays. A couple of years ago, BHP made $47 billion in profit.
Think big.
Rio Tinto made more than $30 billion on a margin of 33%. Peter Dutton is right. This is a Mickey Mouse plan that's never going to work. There's no policy orphan in that regard.
And now you're talking about the penny piece plan.
Australia's foreign minister has put into words what almost the entire world believes, that the process of securing peace in the Middle East starts with the creation of a Palestinian state, the so-called two-state solution that we always hear about. Her speech this week attracted controversy not because of its content, but because of its timing.
Interpreted as being a reward for Hamas.
Hamas won't consider a two-state solution a reward. Hamas doesn't want two states. It wants one state, Palestine. It wants the other state, Israel, to be vaporised, been very transparent about that. Voters in the Palestinian territories knew this in 2006 when they handed Hamas a parliamentary majority. There was no seizure of power. The elections were considered free and fair, and voters ticked the box of the party which advocates for the destruction of its neighbour. How is the granting of Palestinian statehood going to change anything? The rocket attacks on Israel will continue, as will Israeli incursions to find the people who fired them.
Well, that's a fatalistic view.
Fatalistic, pessimistic, and realistic.
Oh, God, that's depressing.
I'm Ben Harvey.